Hello everyone, today I'm going to be discussing every team I used in Pokémon Scarlet or Violet in my 4 playthroughs of the game. So I'm going to start off with my first Violet save file. And I started with Meowscarada. Apologies for the awful quality picture. I thought it'd be fun to use a Pokemon that had 7 weaknesses, including a 4 times weakness to Bug. So yes, Meowscarada was the first member of the team. The second is a Dust form, a Lycanroc. Normally, Lycanroc, Dust form Lycanroc can only evolve from Own Tempo Rockruff, and Own Tempo Rockruff are usually far harder to find than regular Rockruff. In fact, the only Pokemon that's rarer than Own Tempo Rockruff in this specific area I'm looking at is Charcadet, and that's it. However, West Province Area 1 of Paldea has a unique trait. There's a fixed Terra Rockruff, who translates into the Psychic type. You may think, oh, there's nothing special about this Rockruff. It's guaranteed to have Own Tempo. So you can have a Dust form Lycanroc that can terrestrialize into the Psychic Terra type, which I thought was cool. And besides, I like Dust form Lycanroc anyway, so... The third member of the team was Frostlass. It's a Pokemon I caught fairly early on in the game. It's above my obedience level and I didn't expect to be able to successfully catch it. The fourth team member is another feminine Pokemon, Sazzle. And the fifth overlaps with Sazzle is Toxicroak. Don't know why I decided to have 2 poison types on my team. I must have really liked both of them. And then... before I continue to the final team member, Toxicroak helped in the Penny battle because of dry skin, making it immune to Vaporeon's water type moves. So then we get to the final team member, and this technically changed between the League and the AI Turo battle. So initially on the League team, I used Garchomp, a Terra Flying Garchomp named Soaring Bite. However, I decided to replace it for the AI Turo battle with an Iron Jugglius. I can't tell you why, but technically this was the team that first beat the game. Also, side note, the Iron Jugglius on this team, I nicknamed it Getsis. Then we come to the DLC and the Indigo Disc. So I'm going to tell you my teams that beat all 4 of the Blueberry League Elite 4 and Champion Kieran. Now, if you've watched this video that I released at some point, you might already know these teams, but in case you don't, I'll go through them right now. The first member I battled was Lacey, even though technically she's ranked 3 in the Blueberry League, behind only Drayton and Kieran. The reason I battled Lacey first was because I wanted her TM alluring voice, and you can only get it by defeating Lacey. The first member of the team for Lacey was my starter. It may seem an odd pick given it's weak to Fairy, but this team was very improvised and I kind of underestimated Lacey. So, another Pokemon that I put on my team was Hisuian Goodra, a very solid Pokemon that I caught in the Teal Mask DLC that I decided to use in Indigo Disc DLC. Then we have two members of the playthrough team also on the Lacey team. I don't know why, but I put Frostlass and Slazzle on the team. This Slazzle is a different Slazzle from the one that was on my regular playthrough team, as this one has a Terra type of Dragon, and the one on the playthrough team has a Terra type of Fire. Ultimately, it got knocked out on the first turn immediately by Lacey's Grand Ball using Stomping Tantrum, which obviously Slazzle is 4 times weak to. The fifth member of the team was, well, Milotic. Milotic is the reason why I wanted a lone voice in the first place, because I learned that Milotic can learn this move, and I wanted it to have a fairy move, so I chose a lone voice. And the final member was Cleavor. I initially thought to use Cleavor I would have to transfer one from Legends Arceus, but it turns out in the Canyon biome there is one mountain that has black Orgite on it, and it can spawn wild Cleavor. So this was my team that beat Lacey. The survivors were Meowscarada and Cleavor. I don't know how Meowscarada survived, but it did. Then the second member I took on was Crispin. And I'm going to have to say this, but once again I used Meowscarada. This time Meowscarada did get KO'd by Crispin's Blaziken. I don't know why. It's weak to fire, man. I was like, what am I doing? And that, anyway, moving on. Another member of the team that came from the Lacey battle is Milotic, because it's a water type and it's good against fire. Then we had another Pokemon from the Lacey battle, Cleavor, because of Stone Axe, and basically that's it. The fourth member of the team is an overlap with Meowscarada, but it's Crocodile. Crocodile's on the team because it was my knockoff user, where it can slap down opponents' held items, making them unusable, and also doubling in power if it has an item. And in the Blueberry League, everyone has a held item. Yep. And also good EVs and IVs and all that crap. Unfortunately, the last two members do overlap with Milotic. The first was Lapras. Magmortar killed it with Magmortar knocked it out with Heat Wave, but it was my lead alongside Cleavor. And the final team member, I don't know why I decided to use it, was a female Basculegion. Yeah. Next we have Amorous, and the first team member, obviously if you had the thumbnail from the previous video you would know that this is the one that I completely wiped with Chandelure. And my team only had, I don't know why, but I had Meowscarada on the team again, Milotic, Crocodile, Blaze Breed Tauros, exclusive to Scarlet, but I got it in a raid from Terra Raid Search, so I thought that's cool. Obviously Chandelure, because it literally heat waved Metagross and Sizzle right at the end. And the final team member was an Iron Valiant that ultimately doesn't actually do a lot in this battle or the next one, spoilers, but will become important later. Then the final Elite Four member is Drayton. And I used Whimsicott, yep, not Meowscarada, Whimsicott, mainly for Prankster Tailwind, and I partnered it with Frost Rotom. Also, you might be used to this by now, but Milotic. Milotic was on my team for every single major battle in the Indigo Disc. And now at new 11th voice. Then coming back from the Lacey battle, we had Issuing Goodra, which knocked out Archleadon with Dragon Pulse. Iron Valiant, who again didn't really do much. And the final team member was an overlap with both Goodra and Milotic, Kingdra. I thought that with the Scope Lens and Sniper and Focus Energy, guaranteed crits were just so helpful. Now, as you may know, Drayton's Elite Trial requires you to battle through some NPCs using a team that you caught yourself in the terrarium. And obviously 3 of these Pokemon, Milotic, Valiant and Goodra, cannot be found in the terrarium. So you're wondering what my team was for the Elite Trial. It was this: Golurk, Kingdra, Gothitelle, Alcremie, Magmortar and Electivire, with the only member of this team that I actually used at any point in the Blueberry League battles except the Elite Trial being Kingdra. Well, I did consider Golurk because it helped me out in Sword a lot, Pokemon Sword a lot. Now Creamy, I put Iron Valiant in instead. This is my team that beat Drayton. Then we come to Champion Kieran. And this team is not very interesting. 5 of the members were the same as the team that beat Drayton, being Whimsicott, Rotom, Milotic, Valiant and Goodra, with the final member being Ogerpon with the Cornerstone Mask. Valiant actually did something good in this battle because it was the only one that survived. So yeah, that's my team going through Pokemon Violet. Then we come to Pokemon Scarlet. Yes, I bought both versions. No, I don't have a good reason why. So I started with Quaquaval this time and supplemented it with Corviknight, along with Toxicity and Glaceon, its 2 Galar Pokemon. Rouge, because it's one of my favourite Pokemon in the entire Paldea Dex, and for some reason, I can't tell you why, the final team slot was Ceruledge. Yep, I had both Rouge and Ceruledge on one team, and honestly, I cannot tell you why. Then we come back to Pokemon Violet. Why did I play through this game again? Because playing through it with a different team is fun. And I started this time with Skeledirge. Given the success of Glaceon on the previous team, Vaporeon was on this team. Then we have one of my favourite Kalos Pokemon that I've never used before, being Noivern, and the rest is 3 Paldea Pokemon. Farigiraf, because Girafarig definitely needed an evolution. The iconic Tinkaton, and the adorable Pawmot. Unfortunately, for Pawmot's case, it fainted while terrestrialized in the AI Turo battle. As you can see, ultimately though, this team was very nice. Apart from Vaporeon, every single team member was dual type, and there was no type overlap. And Noivern's Terra type was actually Rock, so it had another type covered. Then, my most recent playthrough of Pokémon Scarlet that I finished literally a few days ago, and again I started with Quackable. I don't know why. I think it might be my favourite. All three starters are really good. I don't know. Anyway, apart from Quackable, I had Dragalge. I'm not sure that's how you pronounce it. This Dragalge I caught as a Skrelp that was above my obedience level, but it had the Water Terra type. Because Skrelp is Poison Water, and Dragalge is Poison Dragon. It means I could have a Water Terra type for Dragalge, even though Dragalge is normally Poison Dragon. And it was also the Pokemon that I beat Gita with. So, I think it's pretty nice. The third member of the team was Toadscrawl. It struggled for a while, but then got access to Giga Drain and Earth Power, which I later replaced Giga Drain with Energy Ball. So I went for a healing with Giga Drain and the Big Root to pure offense with Energy Ball and the Miracle Seed. For some reason, Gardevoir. Don't really know why I had Gardevoir on the team, but yeah. Magnezone. Fun fact, Magnezone was actually the Pokemon that I beat AI Sada's Roaring Moon with. Even though Roaring Moon knows Earthquake, and obviously Magnezone 4 times weak to it, but I had Magnezone hold an Air Balloon, land a Thunder Wave after surviving the Night Slash, Flash Cannon, dropped Roaring Moon's special defense. Roaring Moon was immobilized by paralysis. I saw that I Terra to Steel, another Flash Cannon, KO, win. And the final team member, however, was actually very interesting because it was Braviary. Braviary. Even though I actually initially intended to use Talonflame, because I've never used Talonflame on a playthrough team before. But ultimately, I decided Braviary was cooler. And that was my final Scarlet team. I had a lot of fun with this team. I grew very attached to it, despite Braviary arriving late. I can't wait to do some more playthroughs in the future, and I'll see you next time.